So this is a cave, and these are the people who are chained to the floor of the cave. I don't know why it's a floor of the cave. This is the wall separating them from everyone outside. Ours is a story of sorts. It just doesn't have the paneling that you guys have.
But it's interesting. There's two different ways to do it. You sort of have the flow, and you have the precise points. That's good. I mean, it's really interesting.
We didn't do a fire representation. We actually did the light coming into the cave itself, casting the shadow on the folks that are here, because these people here are seeing the shadow of the guy who was escaping with someone who pulled and dragged him out. And this portion of the representation, that's when he first is confronted with the sunlight, and I don't know if you can see, but he's kind of shielding his eyes from the sun. After he adjusts a little bit, everything's still hazy. And it's shadowy. And this period lasts for a little bit, and then eventually he's able to see objects like this jar and this chicken.
It's a bird.
No, but that's good that you did the detail. That's really good.
After and each panel, so he's got pinprick for pupils. His pupils dilate a bit more, and then they dilate further, and he's able to see people. And then at this transition phase, it's nighttime, where he can see the best that he's ever seen, similar to when he was in the cave. His pupils are freakishly large because he can see everything. He's seeing the moon, the stars, and then the final stage, he's looking back, contemplating the folks that he left behind.
And is that an eye right there?
They were
Oh yeah, we were.
discussing my
It's a
artistic
bear.
eyeballs.
That's cute.
Third eye.
Okay, so the group 2.
That's right, the third eye's the third eye.
You have questions.
Knowledge.
No, I like it though. I like how you were like, it's hazy.
No, it came out very well. I had a little bit of misgivings for a while, but you that did a good job.
This is all her art for this.
Hello.
It's very
I
impressionistic.
told you, stick figures are my thing.
So this is ours. What do you want?
Okay, so let's do both groups. Lesson, what did we learn from this?
There are
Yeah,
a
we
lot
can't
of
draw
different
very well.
opinions.
Okay, first of all, that there are a lot of different opinions about the details and then the overall progression and the overall meaning.
For as simple
I
as
mean,
it sounds, it's more complicated. The
Yes.
deeper you delve.
The first 2 or 3 or 4 times you read it, it seems pretty simple. But then you start to read the detail and put everything together, and you realize that it's complicated. What makes it complicated? Can we identify that?
Your interpretations.
Okay, the different people see it in different ways. That's one thing. I think there's other things, though.
Trying to put yourself in his shoes and trying
Absolutely.
to see somebody else's interpretation of it.
Yeah, both those,
Broader picture,
those things. So what do we mean in this case by the broader picture?
Just the overall, I guess, meaning behind the piece, instead of seeing the literal aspect of it, trying to see how is this, in a not narrow-minded way, how is this reflective of
Yeah.
what Plato's trying to get across to the audience? So it's
Yeah,
not,
I mean, we know Plato identifies the meaning of this. He says it's about the enlightenment and the ignorance of the human condition. He's upfront about that. But you would think that makes it easy, but it makes it hard because you've got to figure out what does he mean by those two things in relationship to this into this account. So what do we do next? In terms of understanding this, what's the next thing to look for and at? Would you say? What's your assignment for next week? Other than to talk about technology and culture. In terms of the cave. I mean, obviously, I've got some summing up to do. But for you guys, what should you do regarding the cave between now and next Monday?
Stay out.
You mean go on a search for truth? Yes, that's what I'm saying.
broaden your horizons.
What about the cave? If you decide to reread the cave between now and next Monday, what will you look for?
I would say how it relates to our world today.
Okay, number 1, maybe number 2.
Trying to understand the other opinion. Trying to see it from different points of view.
See, because everyone sees it in a different way. Everyone, all 10 of you, had a different view of it. What about the detail? Do you think it's important to look again at the detail, or have we done enough?
Perceptions change daily. 'Cause
Yeah.
You learn, you're constantly learning, so every time you look at it, it should give you another answer to something else.
I mean, isn't that interesting? I agree with you. I mean, you go back and after our discussion, you'll take another look and you'll see things, you'll see phrases and references to events that you didn't see at all the first 6 or 7 times you've read it. Be thinking about the confrontation between the escapee and the prisoners, why there's all this hostility. Thanks, everyone.